So here we are, starting over again, huh? For those of you who may not know, back during the ancient times of summer 2020, I had published this big 4-part review series on Sonic Adventure, one that I would later recompile into one big mega hour-long retrospective video around 2 years later. Upon further reflection, I decided to delist that video for a myriad of reasons. As much as I think it's leagues better than the content I was doing beforehand, I don't think it's aged super well. I know a lot of you really loved it, and I'm super glad that you did. Somewhere inside my heart, that 16-year-old version of me is really happy that over 1,000 of you guys liked this as much as you did. I'm not trying to discredit myself too much for making it either. I mean, the fact that I was 16 making such a large project using only the iOS built-in screen recorder, iMovie, and some external programs to throw it together out of nothing but sheer creative passion is still something I look back on super fondly. It's just that, well, like Sonic Adventure itself, while it was impressive for the time, and there's still a lot about that video that I love, or at least find admirable, it just hasn't aged well. There's a lot of jokes in there that I'm not really proud of, and some spurts of hypocrisy that really exemplify the more abrasive person I was back during that period in my life. It all resulted in a project I would really feel more comfortable not letting as many people see. However, aside from all that personal, emotional shit, the biggest reason for why I think that is because, well, you may have guessed by that passing comment I made earlier about aging well, but my opinion on Sonic Adventure 1 has shifted a bit. No, chill the fuck out, alright? I think chronically online people get so fixated on thinking in these extremes. It's not just in the Sonic fan community either, it's all of you guys. There's so many video essays and opinion pieces coming out nowadays with the most obnoxious surface-level writing and strictly positive or negative connotation throughout. No nuance, no in-between, it's always either "Booze! This thing people like is such a freaking epic sauce W, bro. 100% flawless. It's a masterpiece in every way." And they'll vehemently defend it on Twitter or in their hour-long video essay. Or, "This thing people like is cringe, and it sucks dick! It's not like this other thing that I like." And they'll vehemently argue this point on Twitter or in their hour-long video essay. So much effort just to be negative or just to convince people to like a fucking video game. And look, man, I get it. Stretch either one of these opinions into an hour-long video and watch the numbers rack up. Shoot, as far as I'm concerned, I used to be a part of the problem. Even though I had a similar little quote-unquote soapbox speech in the Essay 1 video about these same issues, I feel like in that video I went on to do the exact same things as I was criticizing in that segment. Saying shit like,
not to throw shade, but a lot of these video essayists have a habit of giving the whole "these are my opinions and you can disagree" speech, and then go on to use snarky and or pretentious wording in their videos that presents their ideas and opinions like they're fact or some fucking beacon of brilliance.
But then stating things in the midst of my critique, like,
regardless of the flaws, 3 of the 6 playstyles hold their own for the most part, and are inoffensive at worst. So I'm led to believe that the detractors who say Adventure is only half good don't really understand basic math. Based off this arithmetic, that's 20 out of 32 stages that are fun and replayable.
You see, shit like that just makes these spaces so unnecessarily hostile, and encourages people to be super unpleasant, engaging with toxic positivity / negativity, depending on what side of the fence they're on. Anyways, for what it's worth, I feel like I did an okay enough job at making it clear that I didn't see the game as some deep artistic masterpiece, while also not resorting to calling the game bad, which I still don't think it is, by the way. Look, if you really want to know my updated thoughts on SA1, I think it's a very interesting game, one that's definitely worth checking out and playing, especially if you just generally enjoy mascot 3D platformers or have an established history with Sonic specifically. You're really not going to have a bad experience with the game, but your likelihood of really loving this thing is pretty slim. It's definitely not in my top 5 anymore, maybe the top 10, but I don't know. Not really that interested in making lists anyways. It's a game that had a lot of ideas and a ton of ambition. In select moments of the game, that stuff really is infectious. I'm saying that as someone who was born by the time this game was almost, 5 years old? I still get whisked away by the best parts of this game. To this day, I'm replaying Sonic's acts in Speed Highway, Emerald Coast, and Red Mountain. I love racing Eggman as Tails and mollywopping him in that Eggwalker boss fight right after the fact. I still remember E102 Gamma's entire narrative storyline fondly, and always have a blast pun entirely intended, with his amazing final level in Hot Shelter, and his stellar final boss against E102 Beta. I still enjoy treasure hunting as Knuckles, when I'm not using the quote-unquote hints that tell me exactly where the emerald shards are. Oh yeah, and Open Your Heart by Crush 40 still hits just as hard when you're skating across the water of a flooded city as Supersonic, attempting to quell the rage of an ancient aquatic beast that's consumed by pure malice and hatred. On the whole though, I agree a lot with what King Khai voiced about the game in his retrospective, in that it's a game that I like but can only really love segmentally. Adventure really doesn't know how to commit to all of its ideas in the right way. It's kinda one of those early 3D games that's afraid to challenge its player base in any kind of real way. Let's be so for real with ourselves, you can sleepwalk this thing real easy, dog. A lot of these campaigns just really don't even begin to tap into their full potential until their final levels and boss fights. As a matter of fact, let's run down the list. Until you get to Speed Highway as Tails, you're just holding the A button to skip over levels, which you've already had a much more interesting time playing with another character. Similarly, until you get to Hot Shelter as Gamma, you're just moseying through straight hallways with cannon fodder enemies that barely even acknowledge your existence until you're practically tripped over them, and bosses you can beat by just mashing the attack button like a retard. The exploration-focused spin that Knuckles brings to the table in his campaign is really dope. It's just a shame that there's a lot of mechanics put in place that actively make that exploration less involved. The radar that picks up emerald shards from a football field away, the pieces themselves that are so big and shiny that you can see them from that far anyways, the hint orbs that literally fly straight towards them, as if the previous two features weren't enough assistance already. And everyone has beaten down Big and Amy enough already, but honestly, my problem isn't that there's some abhorrent atrocities of game design or anything dumb and hyperbolic like that. My problem is that they're kind of just the pinnacle of sleepwalking SA1. Amy only has 3 levels, none of which put you in any real danger or provide any semblance of challenge because of how hopeless Zero is, whereas Big has 4 stages that can be really obtuse and infuriating if you don't learn to jiggle the analog stick when Froggy bites your lure. Then when you do learn this little trick, you realize all his levels lack almost any mechanical variety. Every single stage winds up playing out the same way. You wander about, find the body of water that Froggy is in, cast your lure, fiddle with the stick when he bites, and reel him in. Hell, Sonic isn't even safe either. A lot of his stages are solid, but I only really have the urge to regularly revisit like 3 or so, depending on my mood. Windy Valley is way too linear and actually gets worse in the Act 2 section. Casinopolis is either annoying and takes forever with its ring and pinball gimmick, or short and boring if you decide to say fuck it and just go to the sewers where they hand you all the rings you need. Ice Cap is a little too vertical for my liking, with a lot of gimmicks that make the whole ordeal very stop and start, and the board section would be really fun if the board could actually stick to the fucking ground! The second act of Twinkle Park is nothing short of amazing, but I'm always forced to jostle my balls around in this awkward bumper car segment beforehand. Skydeck has that annoying section with the heavy wind, and then the part with the gravity switching that can be really finicky as well. Lost World definitely isn't the worst water level I've ever played, and the aesthetics are really nice, but there's so many little janky, gimmicky segments of this stage that I would just rather not bother. And Final Egg kinda has a small sampling of all the unfavorable aspects of SA1 Sonic stages. There's a lot of gimmicky moments and a good chunk of slow vertical platforming. It's also got no real oomph as a final level for this campaign. There's no big set piece here that really makes you go,
holy shit, I'm really about to bring the heat on Theodore Roosevelt. Again, I feel like, oh, my voice changer didn't turn off after making that joke. I feel like this is all really a death of a thousand paper cuts scenario more than anything else. I completely understand if a lot of the issues I brought up don't really affect your personal enjoyment of the game. I'd even be open to disparaging some of the critiques I brought up in this short segment as nitpicks too. I'd still say a good majority of the game is enjoyable and at its worst, tolerable, just underwhelming. Look, my point is, I'm not sitting here and saying all this to try and convince you that you're a dumb, stupid baby for liking one silly blue hedgehog game over another. I just feel it necessary to bring up these subjective issues that I had with the experience to explain why I prefer SA2. Cool? Okay, cool. Sonic Adventure 2 is a divisive game. say the least. A sequel to the now pulverizing Sonic Adventure, released on June 19th of 2001 and eventually re-released on GameCube under the name Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, released in Japan on December 20th of 2001 and in North America on February 11th of 2002. An action platforming game developed by Sonic Team USA and published by Sega for the Dreamcast. So it's December of 1998, and the release of Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast just went down in Japan. And hey, we're doing pretty alright. Unfortunately, according to the game director Takashi Iizuka himself, the Japanese version reportedly shipped with an abundance of glitches due to the game's production schedule being tighter than my asshole. I'm serious, dude. Sonic Team began developing Sonic Adventure in April of 1997, and then finished development in December of 1998, and if you do the math, that's an 11-month-long development cycle. So of course, Sonic Team didn't have the time to fix every single bug and technical hitch in the game, even with a staff of around 60 people contributing to the project near the latter half of its production cycle. In a desperate attempt to remedy the remaining issues of Sonic Adventure's initial release, a small portion of Sonic Team flew out to the United States to crack down on polishing up the localization for the Western release of Sonic Adventure. A small staff of 10 or so employees, all of which were led by the director of Sonic Adventure himself, Takashi Iizuka. They set up shop in San Francisco, the home turf, so to speak, for Sega of America, the city where Sega Technical Institute once thrived, producing Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles, what many rightfully consider the greatest Sonic games of the 16-bit Genesis era. Anyways, like I said earlier, a big focus was placed on cleaning up the major bugs in the Japanese release, as well as other miscellaneous additions, such as including Japanese and English language audio tracks, as well as Japanese, English, Spanish, French, and German subtitles, online features including Chow Daycare and downloadable content, and DLCs such as mini-games and new level assets. The localization was then officially released in North America on September 9th of 1999 as a launch title for the system. Later on, this localized version was re-released in Japan under the name Sonic Adventure International. However, aside from the completion of Sonic Adventure's localization, this split in the ranks of Sonic Team was done with a secondary purpose. You see, around this time, Sega chairman Isao Okawa became increasingly enticed with the idea of developing online-focused games for the Sega Dreamcast, now that Sonic Adventure and its subsequent international release was finally completed.
Jack into SegaNet through your Dreamcast console and join your countrymen in the virtual arena. Play NFL 2K1 and cream for meathead.
Yuji Naka and a large portion of Sonic Team Japan was commissioned to head a new project that took advantage of the online capabilities of the console. Put simply, Yuji Naka and Sonic Team of Japan did not want to fucking do this. Unfortunately, however, virtually every other division of Sega had a project they were busy with at the time. Practically everyone was scrambling to create the next killer apps for the system. My guess as to why is that Sega didn't want a repeat of what happened with the Sega Saturn, i.e. having a console with all these revolutionary features and technical enhancements, but no real killer app to convince you to buy the thing. On top of that, Isao Okawa had so much faith in this idea of online games for the Dreamcast and online games being the future of gaming itself that he reportedly invested millions of dollars out of pocket just to fund this project. So it looked kind of fucking silly if Sonic Team just tried to up and say no to this guy. Thus, the team reluctantly got started on what would eventually become Phantasy Star Online, as well as Choo Choo Rocket. I don't know, looks cute, I might try it someday. Despite all of this internal insanity going on, Sega still wanted to deliver on the promise of a sequel to the, at the time, critically acclaimed Sonic Adventure. And, the sentiment is nice and all, Sega, but there's only one problem. Who's gonna make this thing? Every other division under Sega is either working to make a new game for this online shit or just make new games for the Dreamcast in general. So who's gonna make Sonic Adventure 2? Well, Sonic Team, of course. But wait, I thought Sonic Team was making that Phantasy Star Online game for the Dreamcast. No, not Sonic Team of Japan, Sonic Team USA. Sonic Team USA? You mean those 11 people they flew out to San Francisco to clean up the localization of Sonic Adventure 1? Yup. The whole sequel. The entirety of Adventure 2, make it. How do you think that phone call went? Iizuka himself summarized Sonic Adventure 2's development as trying to make the impossible possible. And shit, yeah, I can't think of a more fitting sentiment. They really wanted to go all out with their next and potentially last installment, with gameplay that enhanced the strengths of SA1 while cutting the fat, along with an expansive story that continued off its predecessor's plot, while also exploring new narrative ground the series hadn't tackled yet, with new characters like Rouge, Shadow, and the President of the United States. Elements of light and dark, new faces, higher stakes, set in emeralds, and a space station. All these elements combined make up The time Sonic Team USA spent in America heavily inspired the creation of the sequel in many ways. You can see this in a lot of promo material and story concepts, like this concept art of Sonic running down the edge of the Golden Gate Bridge and getting chased by a giant truck barreling through the steep slopes of San Francisco. Almost all of these are ideas that would be adapted into the first level of the game, City Escape, except for that Golden Gate Bridge set piece, and that was given a Shadow. They were obviously very inspired by their surroundings and wanted to incorporate what Iizuka dubbed as a more Western American flavor into the sequel. Adventure 1 definitely had some urban Western influence. Hell, I'd argue all Sonic media does to some extent. I mean, the guy was literally created with the intention to appeal to a more Western gaming demographic.
Mr. Needlemouse's get it done now attitude is taken straight from Capitol Hill.
If there was a problem, Bill Clinton took action right away.
Adventure 1 was still really surreal and quirky and Japanese though. Adventure 2, in contrast, really wanted to double down on that Western action blockbuster feel in terms of its aesthetic and narrative. And you can witness this heavy influence as soon as you see the first cutscene of the hero campaign.
Sigma Alpha 2 heading due south over the city.
Now look, I could totally do that cliche YouTuber thing where I just play this clip and let the intro speak for itself, but come on, like, I know you're not stupid. I know if you click this video about Sonic Adventure 2, you probably know the scene front to back by now. I know you could probably quote the entire scene if someone came up to you on the streets and said, Sigma Alpha 2 heading due south over the city. And that's even if you don't particularly like Sonic Adventure 2, or had never actually played the game. But why is that? This scene starts the story off in something called in medias res, which is basically a fancy term for jumping straight into the middle of a narrative without any preamble. It's a really great way of throwing your audience into the action. It's also the perfect way to open up a story with Sonic. There's no inciting incident. If anything, Sonic is the inciting incident. He's this literal ball of energy, confidence, and punk sensibilities. He's like a bomb that's dropped out of this helicopter straight onto the game's plot. This reminds me a lot of False Perfections. That's a slightly more recent story that did this trend pretty good. I mean, episode 1 of that show does open with the narration that details the beginning of the universe, how there was initially a binary, black and white, good and evil, with two opposing forces colliding, creating contrasting shades of gray. The narration goes on to explain how
this color mixed further and in greater detail until the complexity itself bred life as we know it.
This then transitions into a conflict between two celestial beings that existed to harness and test said opposing black and white forces for the creators as they're currently known. After which we get this cool Newground stick figure animation fight with some accompanying lore dumping about the two.
During their fight, the two grew stronger and stronger. until they split the universe, spilling their power across time and space. This power, passed down through the countless generations, became a beacon of hope for good and evil. The power the creators desired could end the stalemate yin and yang were cursed to relive, with each generation ending like the last.
However, then we finally shift perspectives to our main protagonist Michael, who delivers a heartfelt monologue.
From the beginning, this was my predestined path, wasn't it? Right from the start. I'm sorry, everyone. It looks like I'll be joining you now. I love you. No, this time I will not choose my predetermined path. Sorry everyone, but it looks like I won't be joining you just yet. I must entrust everything to the next reincarnation, to end everything, once and for all! That's because I know this is who I am.
See, just like Sonic, this drops our central character into the narrative while establishing his personality and the overarching plot he's about to stumble his way into. Oh, what's that? You're confused. What do you mean confused? Wait, that's right. Silly me. I didn't give any background on the show. Okay, so False Perfections is an online animated series produced by Odie Mohawk.
So it's a little cold and windy, and I'm out here in my t-shirt and shorts. It's really windy, a little cold. But a lot of people were questioning, wondering, or whatever. Udi. A lot of people were wondering this, specifically this question, mind you. So I wanted to make sure I fulfilled their requirements of the wanting of the... so this is what it looks like when I run to my car.
As of writing this, the series consists of one season that ran from fall of 2019 and concluded in April of 2020. The series revolves around main character Michael, who has recently passed away and is tasked with re-experiencing all of the memories from his life via help from his assigned judgment passer, Angelica. I think it's a pretty neat, underrated piece of free online entertainment. I have a lot to say about the show, its producer, and my personal connection to both. Now look, I promise you I'll stop doing the trademark YouTuber summarizing everything happening in real time thing and actually get to analyzing some of this soon, but a lot of the stuff in this intro sequence is very purposefully vague, and a lot of it is more thematically relevant than plot relevant. I feel like it'll fit better if I talk about it later after I establish things a little bit more. For now though, let's just continue on. We then see Michael fall into purgatory, unconscious, where he's promptly awakened by a guardian angel, creatively named Angelica, and some wacky hijinks ensue as she attempts to help Michael come to terms with his circumstances.
Down, will ya? Just leave me out of here, okay? Look, I lied about the whole no money thing earlier. Here, see?
God. Fuck. I need to talk about this, don't I?
What do you mean?
No better place to start critiquing than here, I guess. Okay, so there's a lot here. You may have noticed by now the interesting choices made in terms of this show's production. In the nicest way I can put it, False Perfections is not traditionally visually appealing. I'm sure from just the first minutes of the show you could probably already discern that for yourself though. That is of course, unless you have this on in the background and you're just listening to the audio while drawing, working, or playing a game. Please don't do that, by the way. Look, I get it. It's really nothing personal. I know that this thing is more than likely gonna be super long, but really, this video is way more worth it to experience with your eyes and ears. As you can see, the show comprises a wide range of assets, from commissioned animations or stills from a wide array of online artists to free stock images and videos from YouTube and Google image search. Inherently, because of this, the quality control of the show is kinda all over the place. I really wanted to get this talking point out of the way in episode 1 because this aspect persists throughout the entirety of the show's first season. A part of me wants to say that it gets better over the course of the season, and in a way, it kinda does. However, it never completely loses that sense of inconsistency. From front to back, it's really gonna feel like you're watching a show that got put through this sorta low-budget Newgrounds cartoon generator machine. Which, hey, if this aspect of the show drives you away from wanting to experience the thing front to back, that's totally understandable. Even the show's creator is very open to people who just can't jive with the first season's aesthetic, if you wanted to call it that. It's very experimental and can wind up being an acquired taste some just aren't open to develop. But I don't know, me on the other hand, oh geez, I feel like I'm at risk of sounding really obnoxious and pretentious by saying this, but screw it. I actually grew to kind of appreciate the production style, and that's for a multitude of reasons. For one, oddly enough, the production style sort of does establish a consistency by being so inconsistent. It's like walking into a funhouse. You get assaulted by all these different shapes and colors and random visual stimuli with no apparent consistency, no real rhyme or reason, but your brain still accepts it after a while because the inconsistent weirdness is the intention. That being said, I definitely agree that it's debatable how much of False Perfection's production befuddlement is a genuine result of budgetary constraints and how much of it is a result of deliberacy. However, I feel like, inadvertently or not, the production style still tries its best to match the tone, just not in the conventional ways one would expect. Take the dollar moment, for example. Yes, I'm serious, OE, let's get into it. Let's seriously, artistically examine the freaking dollar moment. Little recap here. In this instance, our central character, Michael, has, over the course of just on 2 minutes, mind you, realized that he's dead and in purgatory and is being talked down at by this lady straight out of Genshin Impact, saying that he's gonna disappear, refusing his offerings of cash before it promptly dissolves into thin air. Depending on how you look at it, the production style here kind of embodies that feeling. The barrage of inconsistent art styles and assets, the reused animations, the music that sounds like a 13-year-old messing around with random synthesizers in GarageBand for the first time, it all turns what would otherwise be a pretty by-the-books post-inciting incident exposition dump into this spectacular display that just embodies the feeling of what is even happening, which is kinda exactly how Michael is feeling at that very moment. Speaking of what is happening, yeah, wait, that's right, I have to, actually explain what's going on here. Okay, so Michael over here is dead, as we've established. Angel Lady here has a job to ensure he continues to exist in the afterlife, ideally by going to heaven. She's part of a group of souls known as Judgment Passers, people who specialize in helping souls move on to the afterlife from purgatory. She needs to gain Michael's trust and fast, because if she doesn't help him soon enough, he'll fade and turn into dust. Michael is initially on board and promptly displays to us that he might not be the ripest of the bunch.
Once I find out my past, I swear it, I'll be the first to get to heaven.
The first to get to heaven? Like ever? Did you not hear her the entire time she was talking about Judgment Passers being people who moved on to heaven? What did he mean by this? Is he stupid? Anyways, moving along to episode 2, and we're still being fed this exposition dump by her. Also, as you could probably already guess, I'm mostly going to be reviewing these episodes in clumps of 2. One of the few objective complaints I have towards the show's production is the way the story is segmented for its episodic release. A lot of these sets of episodes really feel like they should have been lumped together into one long-form episode, turning what could have and probably should have been a 6 to 7 episode season into a 13-episode season, minus that bonus 14th episode, the OVA, Christmas special, and the somehow canon AI episode.
What are we doing here?
It wasn't me who wanted to come.
Then whose idea was it?
Mine.
This is especially true earlier on in the season. There's no reason we should be spending 2 episodes to get our exposition in before Michael experiences his first memory. It feels really padded, with the intro narration and OP taking up an obnoxious chunk of the runtime too. Oh yeah, memories, right. I have more explaining to do. So we also learn that all the floating colored dust in the background is actually the remnants of fated souls who failed to pass on from purgatory. On top of that, unfortunately, that same stuff is going to basically be the fuel for which Angelica uses to show Michael his memories in order for him to pass on, showing his life in reverse, starting from the memory of his death and ideally ending all the way back with his first moments. Hence, the premise of the entire show. However,
using what others left behind as power, we have adapted a way to harness their spirit energy. It's like a surplus of potential power.
Get away! Why you scum!
Michael, out of a sense of justice, I guess, decides that he views this as immoral and he would rather become dust with the rest of them instead of using the last remnants of less fortunate souls that failed to pass on in order to fulfill his journey to heaven. Angelica tries to explain the ethics of this, basically saying, you know, chill out, dog, they're all already dead, so they don't really care, and there's nothing we can do anyways, which is like, fine, okay, I can see why you have that perspective, but then she gets all weird about it. She starts talking about how they should only be viewed as tools now and nothing more. And when Michael gives some understandable emotional pushback towards this, she says this cryptic shit.
Using these gloves,
These are people's entire lives you're talking about.
So it is true.
And then goes on to strawman Michael in this argument and shifts the goalpost. Wow, you're such a good kid. You must have nice parents. Oh right, your parents. Don't you want to see them? You care about people a lot, right? Well, if you care about your parents and your family, you'll want to see all of them in your memories and in heaven, won't you? And sure, you could say maybe she's brute forcing her way through this argument and maybe not saying everything in the best way possible because of that aforementioned tight schedule, but then she calls him good boy when he complies.
We will. I will save them. Without fail. I will save everyone, no matter what. I vow on it.
Good boy. Keep listening to me, and you will be safe.
Man, I would fall for that shit too. I can't even hold you, Mikey. I'm at risk of sounding really up my own ass here, but already in these first two episodes, I really like the subtle, subversive nature of this dynamic. We've seen this setup before in fiction, haven't we, class? The classic doe-eyed, plucky, semi-incompetent main protagonist who gets taken under the wing of a much more experienced and serious mentor figure.
So like a black hole protective bubble at the bottom of the sea where—
Enough!
The two initially butt heads because of their different dispositions and perspectives, resulting in a lack of trust, but they eventually grow a soft spot for one another as the adventure goes on, and as they face adversity together, maybe even learning some things about each other along the way. For a brief second, you might have hoped that the relationship between Michael and Angelica would follow this tried and true narrative path, especially with this moment here with the "for the sake of your own sanity" joke.
Enough with the analogies.
For the sake of your sanity?
We've wasted enough time as it is. Are you ready to go?
I can't shake this feeling, but I feel like I'm supposed to.
However, when rewatching the series, it's very clear, even early on, where this might be heading. False Perfections is very deliberate, showing its hand, and if you pay attention, you will, more often than not, be handsomely rewarded. And this right here is where the show really hooked me, and by extension, where I hope it hooks all of you watching at home. Because buried underneath the goofy makeshift shoestring budget production, the campy voice acting, and garage band quality music is a genuinely unique, character-focused mystery series. One with a cast of believable human characters that are very rarely, if at all, aligned in black and white morals. They're gray. Like me. And you, and everyone else on the planet. But yeah, I want to leave it at that for now because I'm going to have more and more to say about all these little guys once we go along with the story here. So let's get on with it then. God, I hate getting sidetracked. I always do this. Wasting no time, episode 3 gets straight into taking Michael to experience his first memory.
Today, I died. Today is the first day of the rest of my life. Everyone, I promise I will protect you, even if I have to stop the one protecting me.
Oh man, Oe didn't have the budget to animate a good majority of the show, but boy, I tell you, when it does show up, it never manages to disappoint.
I know it. A new journey is about to begin.
I love the eerie way the hospital fades in from black and white too, with this Silent Hill type sound design in the back. Goes absolutely insane.
Hey, snap out of it. We're here.
What the... Whoa, where are we?
There is a bit of tonal whiplash though when we awkwardly shift to these assets that look like they come from primary school administered advertisement posters. I feel like Doc over here is about to look at the camera and tell me eating healthy is cool. Brush your teeth for 2 minutes or something. I don't know. What am I doing? What's going on? What am I talking about?
You're in your deathbed. We're here to witness your final moments.
Oh, fuck! My bad, Michael. Yeah, I guess I didn't think of that when Angelica mentioned viewing his memories backwards. Like, I didn't put 2 and 2 together that by virtue, his first memory would be him croaking in a hospital bed. Stuff's messed up, man. If that wasn't enough, we find out shortly after that the reason he died is because he refused the machinery that could have saved his life.
Look, Doc, I appreciate the gesture. But the moment I decide to give up my freedom, I won't have the willpower to live. I understand your fancy gadgets would help me live, but me sacrificing my undying will would do more damage to me than not hooking up to the machine.
Like, holy shit, if that's not dedication, I don't know what is. Also, a nice parallel to him refusing help from Angelica in the previous episodes. Makes you think, maybe this lends some credence to the idea that Mikey should trust her. Hey, on the bright side though, we actually get to meet his family. They're all pretty sweet. I love that there's a kinda hokey feel to these scenes with the family. The voice acting is super hammy, all the dialogue is delivered with this over-sincerity and joyousness. PNGs are warping, stretching, and zooming all over the place to simulate any semblance of human motion. This is peak television. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Once again, these goofy visuals, whiplash dialogue, and Newgrounds-ass edits getting tossed at your face every 40 seconds could be seen as a negative, but you're supposed to feel warmth and joy in this moment. Michael is seeing for the first time that he had a supportive family when he was alive, one that he built, who wants nothing more than to spend time with him, even during his rest.
Man, I was just listening to music again. I'm going to take a nap soon. Want to join me?
Yeah, I think I will.
It's just human. But then...
Huh? What's happening?
See? I told you could trust me. We can move on now.
Move on?
On to the next segment of your life.
Wait, are you kidding me?
What's wrong? I really thought he would be going along with it by now.
But what about... Hey, you're a judgment passer, right?
Of course. It's working. He's coming along after all.
Then how many missions have you gone on?
60.
And how many of those were successful?
None.
What?
It's your memory. Collect it so we can...
Michael's entire world is being shattered here, both literally and figuratively. This moment isn't just some flashy metaphor or throwaway narrative device. All of this leads us to a character-defining punch to the gut. The whole sequence preceding this, Michael resisting the crystal, yelling at the top of his lungs, all while the room collapses and the tone flips from wholesome to horrifying in seconds. It's so much better than it has any right to be. This is the episode where Michael really defines himself, and I think it really culminates in this line.
Must learn. You are important.
I don't care about me.
You need to.
I can't.
And why is that?
I don't want to live for me.
Oh?
I want to live... I live for another.
I live for another.
Yeah, that's right. I live
That's the seed right there, man. Gives this guy a mission, a purpose. It creates good intrigue too, since he doesn't even remember who that other is yet, but the feeling is still there. That's beautiful, man.
I know that I can be so difficult sometimes. I know I can be so harsh on myself, and I need mounds of reassurance to do the simplest things, just like the character in this game. However, getting that love from you and people who watch my videos, people who genuinely want what's best for me, it helps so much. That's because when I get that kind of love...
You know what's not beautiful though? Psychological warfare. Yeah, can we talk about Angelica too? What's her whole deal? Like, is she trying to help him, or is she just trying to finish a job? Real big red flag that every time Michael resists, she gets more human, or I guess more emotional. She breaks character, which is amazing from a writing standpoint, but sucks for our MC over here. What makes this so guttural is that this isn't cartoon villain manipulation. This is realistic, subtle, painful manipulation. Very real tactics are used here. Hey! Pay attention! This segment might get you out of some deep shit someday. Check this. Number 1, selective framing and withholding information.
You told everyone in the room just how much you loved them, then passed away in your sleep while holding your significant other.
A perfect life? Thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's partially what we saw before you ripped Mike away from the memory, but we don't have proof of this. Sounds way too good to be true though, especially with how much it seems like there's something here that you don't want him to see. Basically, this emotional reframing is designed to keep Michael from reaching his own conclusions. Instead, he's being handed a perfect and sanitized ending in order to socially pacify him. Number 2! Manufactured trust through vulnerability!
I don't...
Everything will be okay. I promise.
Thank you.
Don't mention it.
I really just...
You did what had to be done.
A classic redirect. Notice how it's not "you made the right choice" or "you did a brave thing." That's because the "you" isn't a fucking factor here. It's just about her. Thus, she reinforces that trusting her was the right move. This makes the real choice here about loyalty, not truth. Number 3! Goalpost shifting and emotional flooding!
In that case, tell me, who were those people just now,
I don't...
We know damn well Michael is clearly more interested in hearing, I don't know, the truth. He's focused on the how and why of what just happened. Angelica, in response, yanks the conversation away and hits him with a calm but open-ended question that totally flips the focus to his own ignorance. She does this bullshit to make him feel small and like his perspective has less credibility. The worst part about all of this is that it isn't malicious. If anything, it's born out of love, desperation, and fear of loss. She says, "Why is it that I care more about you than you do?" God, that's a little too familiar. You know, a lot of people have misconceptions about abusers and narcissists. All this TikTok psychology and modern dating world language has people talking about narcissists and abusive exes like they're these vampires, like these boogeymen that are malicious and pure evil in nature. I understand it. I know why you feel the need to antagonize those people. They hurt you. That's not up for debate. They deserve whatever consequences come their way because of that. However, just because people can be monsters doesn't mean those monsters aren't still people too. Hurt people hurt people. I know you've heard that one before, but that's for a good reason. I'm sure there are people out there who are just malicious and rotten. You don't hear anyone advocating for Hitler out here, but In my experience, most of the manipulative people I witnessed in my life did what they did because they were scared. When people grow up in environments where hiding, stealing, lying, all of that is what keeps them from being hurt, all they know is that form of survival mode. And the only thing outside of that is tough love at best, and genuine neglect at worst. Sometimes those people are never shown otherwise, and they take those lessons into the real world. Now everything warrants putting a shield up in their eyes. Someone hasn't texted you back for an hour? It probably means they hate you because you're used to silence being used as a tool against you. I mean, forget about that. You're used to everything and anything being used as a tool against you. People can only give back what they know, and if all they know about love is that, well, how good are they really going to be at it? I don't say any of this out of sympathy, though. I say it out of understanding, but not sympathy. No, because if anything, it makes me hate them more. You know, I hate that you get to be a victim too. I hate that shit so fucking much. I hate that I can understand and empathize with you. I hate that you tormented me so much, rearranged and reinterpreted events in ways that were genuinely mind-blowing and so convincing that I actually thought I was the problem. Meanwhile, you're the one yelling at me.
Emotions when there is no one who truly understands them. The mind becomes both the speaker and the listener, creating a safe space to say what can't be said out loud. A space to rehearse words that may never be spoken and to feel heard, even in complete solitude. These are the ones who imagine how they would explain themselves if someone ever actually asked. They are constantly practicing answers to questions no one has ever cared enough to pose. They rehearse entire arguments in their heads, win them, lose them, saying the things they'll never be brave enough to begin to voice outwardly. They rely on themselves to provide both sides of every conversation, and while this can create emotional insight, it can often also create intense emotional isolation, where the given person becomes so fluent in inner dialogue that they forget how to risk the messy vulnerability of saying something out loud to someone who might not understand.
So bad. I was ready to wait for years and years and years and years for us to finally understand each other. I guess you're just more conditional than that. I just hope one of these days you realize how wrong you were, and we can finally have a hug that feels real, and we can actually fix things, because yes, I still wish I could save you. I would. I'm getting too personal. I'm getting too personal. I need to get back on track. This is where false perfection stops teasing what it could be and just becomes it. Something very real, very intentional is forming. You're more than well aware by now that this show isn't interested in easy answers. Angelica is good, but deeply manipulative. You could say Michael is noble, but he's also kind of a fucking mess. And he's, not the brightest either. The show introduces a black and white, a literal heaven, purgatory, and eventually hell, but proceeds to fill every inch of them with gray. Characters aren't just guided by their goals, but by emotion, regret, uncertainty. I mean, just look at what Michael says by the end of this scene.
I refuse to believe that. I will save everybody!
Even at the expense of yourself?
Yes!
At all costs?
Course.
No matter the sacrifice?
No matter what. I'll save everyone. I will.
Up until now, this has been Angelica's story to control, but this is where we start to see a subtle shift.
Look. All I know is that I'm going to save these people with or without you. That's who I am. Michael Robert Stevenson. The man who survived longer than any other based on his love for his family alone.
You're right. That is who you are. You were always a kind-hearted kid. And if you ever forget that again, I'll beat you so bad that you'll wish you'd disappear.
Let's get a move on. We have more work to do. I want to meet my family and get away from you as fast as possible.
Very well.
With that, the quest for the next memory begins.
Episodes 4 and 5 might just be the best mainline numbered episodes in the entire first season. Even series creator Odie Mohar himself would proudly agree with you if you told him. For now, we just have a peaceful moonlit family picnic. I'm sure nothing bad will... Michael? Hey, you're staring for a bit there. You okay?
A full moon?
No. This isn't right. Hey, you aren't... This has never happened before. We're stuck!
I remember.
Hey, Michael! Stop! You weren't supposed to remember that! Not good. Not good!
Shit, never mind! Immediately, this episode takes the stylistic editing choices to another level. Shit is starting to get real, so we need this to, actually look cool. Michael is tapping into things he's not supposed to see, and the editing, as well as the sound design, mixes wonderfully to convey that feeling.
You see, you told me to hate.
What?
You told me to cry.
Who's there?
You told me to die.
I said who's there?
Then I tried to kill you. Then...
Who are you?
And then I shattered. But you died. You destroyed me, and I killed you. Don't trust anybody. I taught you that.
Stop! Please, stop. Why?
No. I know why you're here, dear.
I don't want to die.
You already do.
You aren't real.
I'm more real than you.
Stop!
Poor boy. Too bad. It wasn't a life worth living anyways. We will dive to the deepest, darkest steps to find you. Yeah, that will never change. And you want to know why? We've waited a long, long time for this.
Who are you?
That fire in your eyes. Who are we? You really do lose your memory when you die.
Everything is so scattered, confusing, and in some cases downright creepy, but you can't help but keep looking and questioning everything you're being shown.
Many others fell before me. All the stories left untold. All my glory and all the stories I share. Am I loved and respected? Come to someday when a fraud be detected, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Dad!
Can't be true. It can't be true. Oh no. Oh yeah.
Don't take them! It's dead! Lord, take me away! I remember.
What?
I just wanted a
what?
good life.
What? No. Oh, no. It was this soon?
For a single day.
It was this soon?
Family. They gave that to me.
Fine. Okay. So, remember how I said I had a personal connection to the show and its creator? Well, I might as well start talking about that, because this is one of the biggest marks of that connection, literally and figuratively. The look of Michael's curse mark is directly inspired by, firstly, Naruto, but whatever, everyone can see that, but also the logo that I used for my YouTube channel and my little character that I made for it. The producer had actually been following my work for a while, like during the old days of my channel. We reconnected a few years back and became good friends. Really good friends.
God, like these characters are fucking like
with it.
having a conversation about what purgatory is and how it's changed, and it's just this background music. It's fucking killing me. It's like, wait.
He's such a cool person.
But being an American Ninja Warrior, I have to be able to complete obstacles both on the course and off the course. So in order to do that, you must first analyze the obstacle to really break it down bit by bit and try and find out what's going to be the most efficient path through every single bit of the obstacle. That way you can turn any hard obstacle into an easy obstacle so that you can overcome whatever hardships you have in your life, whether it be physically, mentally, or emotionally. So using what we learn, we can start to take action through our communication style, and that is how we interact with one another. So other people, I will have to interact with the 4th and 5th graders that I teach at the Boys and Girls Club for them to really develop their social skills in the correct positive manner that we need them to. So self-monitoring, this is how we express behaviors. So how I physically express myself, how I visibly express myself towards the kids when they take specific actions, whether it's positive or negative. These all have a very big impact which cannot be seen, at least directly, but indirectly it has one of the biggest impacts you can imagine. So for example, if a child is having a tantrum, throwing things, having a big meltdown, the number one thing you should do is, first of all, you should directly address the situation by restating verbally exactly what they're doing. So for example, I would say, little Johnny, I can see that you are upset. I can see that you have thrown the game board. Now, would you please go and pick up the game board and we can talk about this? So that's how I would approach this situation given this obstacle. And then last but not least, to take action, you have to make sure you fully understand your conflict management style. And going back to American Ninja Warrior, this really goes into depth of what I was talking about earlier, of how we adapt to overcome the obstacles in the most efficient way possible. So it may be a very difficult obstacle that only 1% of people would be able to beat, but that's only mentally. Physically, most people can do a backflip, they just don't know how.
He's genuinely so wonderful to work with, and he inspired me to just push past a lot of my walls and get this thing out, no matter how insane the idea was. He gave me the drive to make the show I had in my head for like over a year at that point. After talking with him for a while, sharing both our series ideas, I pitched the idea of connecting the two universes, Bombers and False Perfections, and he felt it was a perfect fit for both series. We both felt that each of our shows had things that the other was missing, so to speak, and I wound up on the team writing and editing for False Perfections. so funny. We've been such big fans of each other's work for so long and ended up both collaborating on each other's shows and crossing them over. It sounds like a match made in heaven, and it felt like for a while it was. Unfortunately, I'm in a place now where I have more shame and regret for what I've made than it's worth. I'm embarrassed by how much I dug into myself with the show that I made, how much I exposed about myself, how much I romanticized the terrible things I'd been through in my life just to tell a story. And if I'm being honest, I hate myself. I still hate myself more than anyone could possibly imagine. And I don't feel like I'm in a place yet where I deserve to make much of anything, especially something based on me. I don't have the right answers for anyone, and if you've seen my work, I'm sorry I sat here and ever acted like I did. If you ask me, Odie Mohar is a better man than I am. I made this video for him. I hope more people find this and they go off to watch False Perfections. It's a more thoughtful and well put together show than anything I've made. I've ended the review here, so you're intrigued enough to go watch the rest of the episodes yourself. As for the video, there's nothing left for you here. Nothing except a thank you note and a goodbye letter to all those I forgot to send out the door with proper closure. I don't plan to broadcast again after this. I hope you all take care, and thank you. Yes. Yes, it is. You know why. You know why. I can. Do I deserve that? Okay.
Man, talk about low-budget flights, no food or movies. I'm out of here. I like reviewing better. The story of Sonic Adventure 2, like everything else in this game, is another contentious topic fans love to debate over. It feels like depending on the review you're watching, the story is either treated like this deep masterpiece that's completely infallible and deserves to be studied for years to come, or it's this incoherent mess that's filled to the brim with plot holes, continuity errors, poor storytelling, etc. So where do I stand? I don't know. I thought it was pretty neat. Is it the life-changing masterpiece that some people make it out to be? Well, no, but I didn't need a Sonic the Hedgehog plot to be that. Plus, Paramount has deemed it worthy enough to be adapted into a feature-length movie, so it has to be doing something right at least. I'm not trying to put this thing down either. This shit was really ambitious for the time. Definitely a tier up from lol, go save the princess dipshit. If you're asking me, I think there's some really cool stuff in here, so why don't we... Hey, that's...
Wearing that white astronaut helmet here again, of all places.
Been looking for you, faker!
Oh, jeez. Oh, do you really think I'm gonna do the whole faker shit from that Sonic game with you?
I don't know. I was kind of hoping...
You're such a child. Let me guess, you're doing a big video on it.
Yeah, What made you figure that?
The script document opened up on your laptop, the camera and microphone set up with the wires tangled all over the floor, not to mention, you smell like shit and the room is hot.
Yeah, I need to keep the AC off so that the audio quality actually sounds nice. You gotta make sacrifices to make art.
Oh yeah? Well, Mr. Dumb Vinci, what's your excuse for the trash from that DoorDash you ordered that you haven't thrown out yet? I guess a blue hedgehog who jumps in the air is more important to you than not living in a pigsty.
Fuck you.
What was that?
Fuck you.
Fuck me?
Yes, fuck you. You're being an asshole over some paper on the ground. I'll get to it later after I'm done recording this if it really bothers you that much.
Sure you will. Do you remember?
If I don't, then remind me. I'll even eat your pussy out and give you a foot massage if you do it in a way that's nice, princess.
Bombers.
Oh, what? You don't like it when I bite back? Yeah, don't talk to me like that then.
Whatever. Just get back to your... what's it called again? Sonic Adventures 64 video?
Sonic Adventure 2.
Isn't that the one with the story that's all overly serious and convoluted?
I mean, yeah, people say that pretty often, but honestly, I couldn't disagree more. Dude, first of all, there is way less shit to keep track of here in comparison to Sonic Adventure 1. That game had like literally 6 different things going on at all times, and you needed to retroactively fit the pieces of each separate story together to really get a full grasp of what's going on. It has its strong points, but on the whole, it's really scattered.
And this one isn't?
Yes, actually. Look, I'll explain it to you like you're a 6-year-old.
Yeah, like the target demographic of this game.
Okay, so Eggman uncovers an old research project that his grandfather was working on. Turns out that project is a superpowered hedgehog named Shadow, who's not too dissimilar from Sonic. Dude's like, hey, your grandfather also made this wicked space laser. Help me power it up with some magical gems and you can take over the world. And then this shady Batgirl comes in and she is like, oh my god, I love stealing gemstones. That's like totally my whole fucking thing. Let me help. So they let her on board. Then the rest of the story is pretty much this cat and mouse game between the heroes and the villains, with Team Eggman concocting some scheme to get a leg up on their victory, while Team Sonic plays catch-up, dealing with the aftermath of whatever terrorist attack Joseph Stalin and these Hot Topic rejects cooked up. Then, by the end of the story, they figure out that the big space laser is actually rigged to destroy the entire planet when it's reactivated, and everyone needs to put aside their differences to go stop it.
Huh. That's really it.
Well, yeah, basically. There's some minor details and character moments that I skipped over, but the point still stands. You can follow the basic structure here. Again, definitely not as simple as other 3D platformer games at the time, but it's nothing outside of the realm of what you'd find in your average DC or Marvel comic book. Speaking of which, that's something I think about whenever people try to say that this story is overly dark/edgy. Like, is it really?
I mean, this is the game where Shadow shows up, right? He's got the motorcycle and the guns and stuff.
No, dude, that's the Shadow the Hedgehog spin-off from 2005. Fuck that game and all the memes that came with it. That whole fiasco retroactively made people think this shit was way more convoluted and try-hard than it actually was. The darkest SA2 gets is with the last story, where Eggman's grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, broadcasts his last words before his execution, revealing his revenge plot against humanity. Since the government decided to shut down his research project and destroy all evidence, which naturally includes getting rid of any potential witnesses, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like you said, not dark or convoluted at all.
I mean, yeah, bit of a shocker there, major tonal shift, but the characters all act accordingly, and I don't think any of the actual writing here is distasteful. Hey, you want to know something crazy?
I feel like I've been hearing crazy this whole time, but sure.
Well, Maria is never directly shown being shot in Sonic Adventure 2. It's only ever implied through either sound design or dialogue. That's another thing that Shadow the Hedgehog spin-off gaslit people into thinking. Like I said, it's never played up here or treated without respect. It's only ever treated as a terrible act that pushed a man with initially good intentions to chase revenge, which the story of the game also vehemently disagrees with. He's an antagonist. His viewpoint is wrong. Also, I mean, yeah, it's heavy stuff if you really sit down with it, but I never thought this was too far off from shit like Uncle Ben getting shot in Spider-Man or Dr. Freeze trying to save his dying wife in cryostasis. You never see anyone bleeding, puking, or dying or whatever. A whole maximum security island gets blown up at one point. But in all the levels that take place here, you only ever see like machines operating the place. The only confirmed deaths here are the flying dog pilot and maybe the intercom lady from Iron Gate. Ultimately though, I feel like all the most heavy subject matter in here is used to great effect to spread a good message to kids. You know, revenge bad, cycle of violence, and they safely explore that narratively through its best character, Shadow. We'll get to that when we talk about individual characters later though. For now, let's see, what other problems do people have with this story?
Now I know what's going on. The military has mistaken me for the likes of you.
Sonic being mistaken for Shadow, people really made a big stink about this back in the day. I wonder if they still do. I think nowadays it's more of a meme people have embraced the absurdity of and don't take it as much of a serious complaint, but I guess I could say a few things. This is definitely another one of those cases where external media gaslit people into a Mandela effect version of this story where every last character is always mistaking the two, because that shit happened all the time in Sonic X.
Oh, Sonic! What a relief!
In Adventure 2, this only happens 3 times. It happens when Eggman releases Shadow, but he quickly realizes that it's not him, so it's debatable if we can even count that. Then there's the media and Gun mistaking them, leading to Sonic's arrest. This one gets a little messy because the news gets a full close-up shot of this guy at night with a searchlight blasting on him. But it is also at night, so they might only be getting the silhouette, and it's only confirmed to be Sonic through eyewitness accounts, which means they totally could have just taken the word from some homeless guy who thought he saw Sonic shredding down the Golden Gate Bridge and blowing up Blue Eagle jet fighters while he was getting blasted on horse tranquilizer. The most egregious moment happens when Amy mistakes him for Sonic and gives him that big tackle hug.
So you're telling me that the girl who loves Sonic more than anything in the world mistakes him for someone who isn't even the same color?
Well, shit, I don't know. Maybe the sun was just really beaming or she had something in her eye because she somehow, I don't know, didn't see Evil McGee and Timmy Tough Knuckles over here either. Well, you know what else, dog? Amy is 12 years old and she just came all the way from the mainland to fucking Alcatraz. Maybe she's just a little out of it. How the fuck did she get here though? Like, I'm not doubting that she'd be able to do it. I would just like to... I was just like, want to know how. Maybe she still has that car from that Sega Saturn game that can drive on water for some reason.
Well, if you gotta know, I caught a ride with Tails.
No, what? No, you didn't. I think this is a translation error. Maybe she meant it like Tails cleared the way for me to break in, or hey, maybe she's just totally trolling and intentionally not telling him shit. That'd be kind of funny.
Yeah, sounds like coping to me. By the way, I just thought of this. How is Gun mistaking Sonic for Shadow when Shadow is Gun's secret project?
I mean, this might be kind of a cop-out, but he is a secret research project, so who knows who has that information, who doesn't, or who calls the shots on that sort of thing if the cat gets out of the bag.
So what you're saying is they get away with it because they have a get-out-of-jail-free card. That sounds like great writing.
Well, that or more likely, I'ma be real, this military could also just be completely retarded.
Alright, that was a pretty good one.
No, like, I'm serious. This is an actual argument I'm making.
What?
Think about it. They don't do anything in this story besides getting their fodder enemy squads ran through and get absolutely clowned on in every cutscene they're in. Eggman even calls them a bunch of dopes at one point because they can't find his hidden base, which is covered in his likeness. What more does he need to do? Make a sign that says Evil Hidden Terrorist Bomb Factory, dude? They named their maximum security island Prison Island and named their military organization Gun. Do you really think everyone working here has their heads screwed on straight? Fuck is all this money in Security Hall doing just being blown around for?
You know what? This might not be too far off from what our government is doing with my tax dollars right now.
So that was your plan from the very beginning? Or was it a direct order from the president? Now I know who you are. You're that government spy, Rouge the Bat, aren't you?
So you did your homework, is that it?
People get really tilted over Rouge the Bat being outed as a secret agent, though. People say that this twist majorly contradicts the earlier parts of the story.
I mean, That makes sense to me. Why would Rouge let the prison island get blown up if she's a secret agent?
Well, I mean, first things first, Rouge's only mission is to gather info on Project Shadow. Aside from that, she can pretty much do whatever she wants, it seems. Her only motive outside of that is just stealing shiny things, so staying on Team Eggman is advantageous to her. She can just nab the Dragon Balls and haul ass when shit hits the fan. She even tries to do just that in this cutscene. Just because she's a secret agent doesn't mean she's not morally dubious. In her first cutscene, she's literally trying to Latina mind control Knuckles into forking over the Master Emerald. So it's not like she really understands the full magnitude of these things.
Okay, still, why would she steal the emeralds so Eggman can blow up the moon and hold America hostage?
I don't know. Why would the president let her do that?
Huh? Wait, the president of the United States is in this story?
Yeah. For like one cutscene, it's pretty funny. Back on topic though, the only reason why they do this whole prison island robbery fiasco is because Rouge received intel about the emeralds being held here. When she's questioned on this, she just goes, well, believe what you want to believe. So at least some part of this was approved by the people leading her mission directives, which is like awful. Hashtag justice for flying dog pilot, but hey, make an omelet, break a few eggs. I'll just sit back and assume in good faith that the president or the government or whoever hired Rouge has a plan and some form of contingency in case shit goes south. I'd hope so if they're willing to give this kind of information out in the first place. And that contingency plan is more than likely letting Rouge just steal the emeralds at the last moment and letting her keep them for herself. I think that's implied to be the jewels she's talking about in that one cutscene anyways.
Jeez, for a plot twist, they really spell this stuff out for you, don't they?
Well, that's another thing too. People act like this is some big twist that comes out of nowhere and wasn't set up throughout the entire story. If you think this, then you just straight up weren't paying attention. I don't know what to tell you.
Not paying attention? You're one to talk.
Shut up. In almost every single scene she's in, she's like passing information along to someone else, getting intel from unknown sources, or reporting back to someone over a hidden earpiece. This isn't a twist. Bitch might as well wear a sign over her head that says, "I'm a Fed wearing a wire."
Man, look, I'm not gonna blow smoke up your ass or anything, but I gotta say, you just have these defenses lined up.
Yeah, it's almost like I wrote a script and rehearsed them or something.
Yeah, but like, you know exactly what I'm gonna say about it. It's kind of freaky.
Well, of course I do. We're the same person. Plus, your arguments aren't anything new. Everyone online says the same shit about the story. I bet most of them skipped the cutscenes in this game and just downloaded their opinion from some YouTuber who thinks they're hot shit. I'm such a free thinker. I don't like the popular thing that other people enjoy. Sit the fuck down, you egotistical armchair game dev. All of you talk and sound the same.
Damn.
What? You got no insult to throw at me for that one?
Nah, man, like, I'm actually in agreement with you on this one. Don't get me wrong, you jerking this game off for hours is still pretty gay, but I'd shove Aaron Hansen, Jimmy Wetzel, and Pro Jared in the locker first chance I get if I ever saw them in person.
No. You gotta set up a boxing match with them. That's like the new thing now.
YouTubers are boxing each other? Oh my god, that sounds terrible. Who wants to watch two malnourished geeks flailing at each other?
People who subscribe to iDubbbz, apparently. We gotta get back on topic. Talking about modern YouTube makes me fucking depressed.
Yeah, so let's go back to talking about the Sonic story that you think is so perfect.
I never said I thought it was perfect. Did you miss the whole intro to the section?
Yeah, I came in late.
Oh, right. Well, I will say, the one time the story genuinely gets convoluted or self-contradictory is during some of Gerald's diary entries and his execution speech at the end of the game. The timeline of events that Gerald gives us for the creation of Shadow, the Eclipse Cannon, as well as the gun raid and the subsequent arrest and execution of Gerald is all really messy and makes you raise an eyebrow or two if you think about it for more than like 5 seconds. Future external media has needed to retroactively add context so that shit makes any semblance of chronological sense. So I guess by that metric, it makes sense now in a kind of roundabout way. And you could also say, well, he's going insane and about to be executed, so of course he's not making any sense, but at the risk of sounding like a hack—
You already do.
Shut up. I'll say that this is the one time where the story genuinely has some major holes that could have done with some ironing over. On the whole though, like, I hate to be the one asshole who just resorts to the "duh, you just don't understand it like I do" argument, but this is one of the few cases where I've genuinely seen people exaggerating and nitpicking a story to this extreme. And honestly, even if I was wrong, even if every single plot hole, contrivance, or suspension of disbelief was actually as bad as people made them out to be, I still wouldn't care.
Really?
Yes, really. Because, Anti, I'm not coming to Sonic Adventure 2's story for the plot. I'm coming to it for the characters and the set pieces.
Alright, nice cop out there, buddy.
Is it though? Dude, this is Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. This isn't some deep geopolitical thriller where I'm itching to figure out the intricacies of corrupt government organizations.
You were just talking about secret agents and special government projects and conspiracies like 2 seconds ago.
I mean, yeah, it's got some of those elements as aesthetic set dressing, but the game ultimately knows that you're coming here for the characters, not lore documents. I feel like mostly every other Sonic story I've experienced has had one element or another that I've had to willingly put a major asterisk on in order for me to enjoy it. 06 has a pretty great villain and Shadow's story is amazing, but oof, that time travel nonsense. Sonic kisses that girl. Sonic Adventure has some cute stuff going on, but I really wish the cutscenes looked better, and I wish I didn't have to watch some of them like fucking 6 times over. Unleashed gets really close to being great, but for a game where we're traveling the world, most of Sonic's supporting cast is strangely absent. It's either that or the story is so simple and surface level that there's nothing for me to really latch onto. Again, I'm not expecting anything crazy, but be real with me. Did you feel anything when you watched the cutscenes of Generations? Or Colors?
Baldy nose hair!
Fucking hate that game. Was there any moment, any shot, any dialogue that actually stuck out in your mind and made you, like, engage your brain even slightly? Adventure 2 never had either of those problems for me. There's so many camera angles, dialogue quotes, and character moments from Adventure 2 that will be burned into my cerebrium until the day I die. I feel like every plot beat or narrative element gets just the right amount of juice squeezed out of it. And more importantly, every character present in the story gets to shine in one way or another that makes their inclusion worthwhile. Sonic's characterization has never been better and will never be better than it is in this game. I don't care, fight me. This is one of the few games where I look at this guy and genuinely go, oh yeah, that guy is fucking cool. He's punk, dude, it's great. He's always got this loose, flowy stance, this cocky smile like, yeah, I know I'm the shit. This story really puts him through the ringer too, and he just keeps that energy the whole ride through. He gets arrested twice, almost gets blown up twice. He's always clutching his way out of some insane scenario, smiling and shit-talking the whole time, and then shrugging it off afterwards like it's nothing. Even when he's about to die, he puts on a brave face for his friends, trusting Tails to carry out the rest of the mission and telling Amy to take care of herself, which culminates in Sonic's hardest clutch yet. And this is what makes Shadow such a good rival for Sonic. First, Shadow seems like everything you'd expect from an evil, edgy Sonic fan character. All the confidence and cool is replaced with total animosity and spite. He's always talking down to everyone in this undercutting tone like he's 10 steps ahead of them, because he kind of is. I mean, Christ, he's even black and red. What people miss, though, is that that's the point. Shadow is a bait and switch character. If you think he's just some cold steel evil recolor of Sonic, you only took the bait. You didn't see the switch. The dude is all talk. He acts all mysterious and intimidating, but when it comes down to it, he's a total softie. He tries to leave Rouge to die trapped in Alcatraz, but literally can't because of his guilt. He even smiles when he gets a random hug from Amy. He'll talk shit on Sonic, placing himself both literally and figuratively above him in conversation. But when it comes down to it, he finds a mutual respect for the guy and admits that they aren't actually that different. You guys make fun of them cutting over each other in that one cutscene so much for no reason, dog. I love that part. Think about it. This is the first time Sonic has had Shadow throw shade back at him the same way he does to other people, and it just devolves into them screaming at and punching each other over who's cooler than who. It's great. Makes that eventual scene where my balls itch. Makes that eventual scene where they're it makes that eventual scene where they're walking side by side before their last fight that much more cathartic. The way Shadow is genuinely blown back, not only watching Sonic do chaos control after only watching Shadow do it once, but doing it with a Chaos Emerald that isn't even real? That's like handing someone a $10 Walmart skateboard and watching them land a kickflip first try. Sonic's only response to this is just, I don't know, bro, that's just how I move for real. And that scene is where you figure out the real reason these two are so different. Shadow is a dark mirror to Sonic, but not in the way you'd expect. Shadow is a character that is so defined. There is so much context and deliberacy in his creation. I mean, just the fact that he is a creation, he's synthetic, he has a purpose to fulfill, a title, ultimate life form, as well as a past and trauma to cope with, whereas Sonic just is. And never needed a reason to be. What you see is what you get. Just a guy that loves adventure. I'm Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog.
I'm 100%, it's 100, nothing less. I'm all in the flesh, the kid that's up next.
Knuckles on his own doesn't really get to do that much in this story. He's still kind of just on his own adventure, gathering Master Emerald pieces until he stumbles across the rest of the group. His interactions with the rest of the characters is great though. Knuckles is always at his best when he's the stoic, down-to-earth guy who's just getting roped into everybody else's bullshit. All the cutscenes compound on this. I always get a kick out of that one scene after Pyramid Cave where Sonic's all like, ah, geez, what are we gonna do about this locked door that needs 3 keys, Knuckles? And then you proceed to play the worst treasure hunting stage in the game aside from Mad Space. This is what makes Rouge such a fun counterpart for Knuckles. After getting duped twice by Eggman, Knuckles has finally come to his senses a bit. He's a lot more skeptical and less trustworthy towards people, and even more insanely protective of that Master Emerald. I mean, fuck, I would be too, especially after what happened in the previous game. Alright, just imagine this shit. You're guarding like this magic, super powerful artifact that your dead ancestors entrusted you with. That shit almost gets stolen from you by some evil scientist guy who tricks you into fighting this 15-year-old. Then, not long after that, the thing breaks and a water monster comes out of it that tries to kill the entire population of a local city. Then, when all that is said and done, you get this Latina who shows up and snatches the thing, and you have to fight with her in the middle of the desert, and she's claiming that the thing is hers. Oh my god, I would be furious. Rouge is totally doing this to fuck with him. Like, obviously she knows the emerald isn't literally hers, but she calls it hers to taunt him. This is the way she counters his character. Her personality, her mannerisms, her attitude, the world that she comes from is just so alien to Knuckles. Really puts the whole fish out of water aspect of his character on blast. It's not just Knuckles either. She's always butting in with some sassy clapback that lets the whole room know she doesn't take anyone seriously. She likes to get on people's nerves a little bit, to pick them apart. I love that moment with Shadow after he saves her, where she's really trying to dig into his thought process and why he did it. I think the greatest thing about her character though is that she's more than meets the eye, even to herself. I like to think that there's 2 sides to her in this game. There's her jewel thief side and her secret agent side. Near the beginning of the game, it's clear that she's more cemented in her ways as a criminal. And whenever we hear her report back to the president, it's clear she's only invested in this case because she's promised to get some jewels out of the whole ordeal. The girl just wants some ice on her. Honestly, I respect it. However, as this investigation into Project Shadow continues, she gets roped into something way bigger than herself, almost dies like 3 times. Actually 4, because Shadow definitely would have killed her if she tried to take the Chaos Emeralds. She realizes that people are more than what they seem to be on the surface, and I feel like that arc comes to a head when she fights with Knuckles for the last of the Emerald Shards. They get into this little tussle in space, and they fight until they're both on their last legs over a pool of molten lava. Then, for once in a blue moon, Rouge gets caught off guard. She slips, but before she can even act for herself, Knuckles catches her. That's right, the dope, the meathead, the simpleton, who she thought she could get one over on. You can see it in her eyes that something clicks for her here. I like that she doesn't drop the no-nonsense bad bitch act after she does this, though. She's still running her mouth talking about some
saving my life. Don't think I owe you one. You just wanted to hold my hand, didn't you? That's why you saved me. You're such a creep.
Knuckles is just trying to keep it cool, Shadow style. Think what you want, shawty. I was just trying to secure that Master Emerald for real. Then she whips out this whack shit.
What?
Fine, then just take them. They stink like echidnas do.
Jesus Christ! You know they're all dead, right? Props to Knuckles for keeping his head screwed on straight during all this Latina female rage bait. I would have thrown that hoe back in the lava for saying that racist shit. She leaves the scene running off before looking back and just giving this little smile. I love that. Put a nice bow on the whole thing. Hot off the trails of his heartwarming arc in Sonic Adventure 1, one about gaining confidence and stepping out of his friend's shadow, Tails makes his grand entrance in this game by busting his friend out of prison and shooting Eggman on sight when he sees him terrorizing Amy. He leveled up his engineering skills too, and now has a full-on battle mech that can turn into a plane or car. Lil Bro was playing Sonic in All-Stars Racing Transformed 11 years before that game even came out. If you can't tell already, Tails is a straight beast in this game, and I love it! He's still got that little kid tech whiz charm to him, but he's no longer the little brother trying to prove himself. He's a legitimate asset and power player on the team. In Adventure 1, you could remove Tails from the story, and it would need some tweaks, sure, but would largely play out the same, but not here though. This story ends with Sonic getting blown up stuck in Prison Island if not for him. Matter of fact, the whole world fucking eats it if not for that fake emerald he made. Oh yeah, that's right. The kid made a synthetic Chaos Emerald. Like, he just whips that out. It's a good thing the kid is on game because his rival, oh, he's at his best too. Who might that rival be? Well, none other than... the Mad Doctor himself. Tails might be on his A game, but Eggman is ruthless. Even with all the context we're given for his evil plans in the Dark story and all the first-hand experiences we got through gameplay, he still always manages to feel like a genuine force to be reckoned with. First thing we see him do is shoot up a military base to recover a top-secret government weapon. After SA1, it seems like Eggman has upgraded from environmental endangerment to just straight-up terrorism. Dude comes back to the same base just to rob them again and then blow it up. Then right after that, he blows up the moon just to prove a point and gets straight to blackmailing the president for total control of America. Of course, we can't talk about Eggman's incredible feats of wit and dominance in this story without talking about that fake emerald scene. Yeah, you know the one. Now, everyone's talked about this scene to death, but the reason why that fake emerald scene is so great isn't just because of the emotions or that part where Eggman gets Tails into totally spilling the beans on the fake emerald, although that is great. It's because during the entire game up to this point, Eggman and Tails have been playing this sort of invisible game of chess against each other. Tails is always helping the group stay an extra foot ahead, gathering intel, tracking Eggman's call with the president so that they can find his base, and once again, inventing the plot MacGuffin to shut down his entire operation on a whim. However, this scene is where that game of invisible chess gets absolutely destroyed. The only advantage Tails has over Eggman this whole game is the fact that Eggman isn't even aware of the game that they're playing. But in the cutscene right before this, he notices 2 emerald readings on the monitor, which is kind of weird because 6 of the emeralds are already in space. There should only be 1 left. As soon as this happens, it's all over. But we know Eggman. As evil and as cunning as he can be, he's not gonna let this go down without some theatrics. Thus, a trap is sprung! Eggman finds Amy and holds her hostage right as Sonic is about to slam dunk the fake emerald into the central console. He rushes over to save her, and Eggman asks him to hand it over. Sonic thinks he's got one over on the old doctor like always.
Handing over the fake emerald? I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone!
Put the emerald down right there and back off.
You've turned into a big-time villain, Doctor.
Then bam! It's a setup. This is so great. Eggman totally knows Sonic is gonna jump on the opportunity to clown him and make him foil his own scheme. But wait, he doesn't know for sure this emerald is fake. Sure, he saw 2 readings, but that doesn't mean he knows which is which.
So, how did you know it wasn't the real one?
Oh, fuck! Tails! Oh, dude, that's sad. As smart as Tails is, he's still just a literal toddler. He's crying foul ball here like a kid who just lost a Little League game, and Eggman just takes this as an opportunity to checkmate them even further. He didn't even need to do this. He's already got them in a pretty bad chokehold. Sonic and the Emerald are stuck in the capsule. If it's the real one, Eggman can still just shoot him into space and pry the thing off his corpse. And if it is the fake, it just gets taken out of the equation entirely. Also, if you're wondering why they brought the last Emerald to space, who's gonna guard it while they're gone? The bad guys can go back and forth to Earth and the space colony. These dudes only get a one-way trip there with that shuttle. As soon as Eggman catches wind of this chess game, he traps the queen, checkmates the king, and makes a fool out of the rook who had been silently making his life a living hell the whole game. It's maniacal in the best way possible. It culminates in this moment where the chips are down, there's no more games, no more schemes. The only thing left for Tails to do is fight tooth and nail with Eggman for the fate of the planet. This line Tails says right before the fight is so hard too.
Sonic! Sonic's asked me for the first time to do something for him. I won't let him down.
In a fucked up monkey paw sort of way, this is kind of what Tails has always wanted in his life. After years of trailing behind trying to prove himself, Tails is finally being asked to step up to the plate. For once, he is the one and only spark of hope, fighting tooth and nail for the sake of the entire planet instead of Sonic. It is also heartbreaking that he more than likely canonically loses this fight. It's a tragic and fitting climax for this excellent rivalry, and it makes it all the more cathartic when they work together during the last story to help the team save the world from Gerald's world annihilation plot. But wait, hold on, because this whole time though, I've neglected to talk about one of the game's most underrated and misunderstood characters, Amy Rose. Amy really gets a bad rap in this story. Last we left her off, she was claiming loud and proud that she was gonna find her own way and make Sonic finally show some respect for her. She starts off pretty strong, busting the dude out of prison with the help of Tails, but hey. But after that, she kind of falls behind the curb and never really recovers. They even make a running joke out of it. I'm not gonna lie, she did have a lot more to do in Adventure 1, and I ultimately prefer her arc there, especially when you pair it up with E102 Gamma. However, she does get one moment to shine in this story that, in my eyes, makes up for most of her missed potential in this story.
I hate it when they leave me behind. Look, it's Shadow.
This right here, this scene gets the core of her character down so well, it's not even funny. I know what you're gonna say, but this conversation is so rushed. It really just took one person talking to Shadow to remember Maria's actual dying wish and change his mind? Well, yeah, kinda. See, it's not because what Amy literally says here is some profound, life-changing sentiment. No, the real reason why Shadow talking to Amy works is because that is the first interaction Shadow has had since he's woken up that was purely positive. She's the first person who's not using him for personal gain. She's also the first person who's not lying to him about who she is. Think about it. This dude just spent the entire game with Dr. Eggman and Rouge the Bat. One of them is an egomaniacal terrorist who thinks it's his birthright to build his own empire, and the other is a shady government spy and world-renowned jewel thief that's lying through her teeth in every interaction they have. Hanging around these dopes after watching your sister die and being asleep for 50 years probably wouldn't change my confirmation bias that everyone is selfish and deserves to die. There's his interactions with Sonic, but aside from that one cutscene before their last fight, Sonic is kind of an annoying little shit in his eyes who keeps happening to slip away from sudden death and show up at the worst opportune moments. Amy, on the other hand, only positivity to offer. That's her superpower. Not the Pico hammer, not the tarot cards. Her love isn't just big for Sonic, it's big for everyone. She sees the potential for goodness in everyone she comes across, and she has a heart so big it got a robot to change his mind. Her care is unconditional, and that's what Shadow needed this whole story. Not revenge, not a shift in his perspective, but love. What? You okay?
Footsteps! What? I thought they wouldn't be home until... Doesn't matter. Get a trash bag. Now! Okay, hurry up! This is why I told you to clean this shit up earlier! Stop pressuring me! You're making me shake! I can't concentrate! If you think it's bad for me, it's gonna be even worse for you!
Jesus Christ, are you okay?
Yeah, what happened?
Well, you just exploded again.
I did? What?
Just thinking. I mean, from your perspective, what's going on with this whole explosion thing?
Okay, look, I don't know why. It wasn't happening before, but for some reason or another, now when
Experience memories and emotions intense enough, you explode now.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know why. Maybe greed did something to me when he...
I can tell. He must have hurt you really bad.
Really? I'm that obvious, huh? I'm so stupid.
Hey. Less tension in those shoulders, okay? Breathe. Are you gonna tell me what that's all about already, or...
Tell you about what?
You never told me about what happened after he took you.
Anti is down there, Gray. He needs me. He thinks everything that happened is his fault. That's why he's trying to...
Slow down. We'll help him out when you're stable enough.
Stable?!
No, wait, that's not what
No, I know. I'm not regulating myself enough.
You don't have to be so hard on yourself.
I don't? Really? Great. Look, dude, I know you're looking out for me, but I don't want to cave in this entire building just because I stubbed my toe really bad. I need to lock in.
Lock in? What does that mean?
Yeah, lock in. It's a new internet thing I heard about. It means like focus up, basically. No distractions.
So for example, those 11 people who made Sonic Adventure 2 really locked in during the development.
Oh, hell yeah, they were. Dude, if there's one word I can use to describe the goal behind the development of Sonic Adventure 2's gameplay, it would be streamlining. It was one of the team's primary goals when developing Adventure 2.
I'm guessing they were focusing on fine-tuning the elements that really worked while disregarding others that didn't.
Exactly. You see, that's really the great thing about dealing with a direct sequel is you already have most of the fundamental groundwork laid out for you. Despite the small size of the staff itself, everyone over at Sonic Team USA most likely had more experience at this point handling Sonic and his friends' gameplay within a 3D environment, especially when you consider their contributions towards cleaning up the American localization of the first game. So there's a lot less caution towards the prospects of what will and won't work in 3D. We already had the Growing Pains experience with the first game to help teach those lessons, and on top of all of that, the team probably had more knowledge of how to really push the Dreamcast to make games look and feel as best as they can with its capabilities. With that also came the knowledge of what didn't work. Looking back at Sonic Adventure 1, you can definitely see how a lot of these gameplay styles were kind of just made to show off the capabilities of the Dreamcast. Look, we can render water, so let's have a character who goes fishing. Let's have a guy that goes on a colorful and explosive robot murdering rampage to show you how much cool shit we can render on the Dreamcast at once before the CPU starts farting out smoke. Hub worlds with NPCs to showcase that the Dreamcast is indeed more than capable of portraying immersive environments with people and places you can interact with in real time. By comparison, Adventure 2 is purely trying to sell you Sonic way more than it's trying to sell you the Dreamcast. I mean, the damn thing was on its way out anyways, we might as well make the best 3D Sonic game we can. Reportedly, even early on in development, the team was totally down with the idea of cutting the playable roster. Amy and Big, unsurprisingly, were the first to be axed, along with their respective gameplay of fishing, and slowly running away from a monster that can barely even touch you. Sonic gameplay, people. Speaking of cutting characters, Tails was allegedly initially planned to not be playable either. He definitely still would have been present in the game for the narrative, you know, fake emerald and all that good stuff. Hell, maybe he would have even still followed Sonic in levels like in the Genesis games or SA1. However, after news broke out, fan outcry caused Sonic Team to reconsider and put him back in. Shortly after, Shadow was reconsidered to be a playable character, and Rouge was added in as a counterpart for Knuckles. Thus, the end product wound up having a cast of 6 playable characters sharing 3 separate playstyles in sets of 2. If you ask me, I think it's awesome that the team found a way to have an expansive playable cast of fan favorites, all whilst keeping the gameplay focus on bringing back, in my opinion, the 3 strongest gameplay styles from the previous game, those being Sonic's speed stages, Knuckles' treasure hunting stages, and E102 Gamma's shooting challenges, all of which are present and accounted for with this setup.
Wow, I must have hit a nerve right there. You're really on a roll now.
I suppose I am.
Well, I guess it's appropriate to say we're finally getting that Sonic Adventure 2 Bombers video on the way, huh?
Oh yes, undoubtedly. But just wait, because I've got a surprise.
Really now?
Yes, you see, Gray, this time I won't be alone for this video game review. I failed to mention we have a very special guest today. Now believe me, I know he's quite the talk of the town, so I ask that when he reveals himself, you please contain your immense excitement. Well, without further ado, Gray, would you please cue the drum roll? It's... Oh! It's gonna be! Who's it gonna be? It's Michael from Purgatory!
Hello, I'm Michael from Purgatory!
Indeed you are. You've been a very anticipated guest of ours for quite some time now, haven't you, Michael?
I have been? Really?
Why, absolutely. Just hear that audience roar.
Wow, they really love me!
They sure do, Michael, and we do too.
Is this where I belong?